It's the hottest podcast in the world. From WWE to TNA by way of the NWA. It's referee Brian Hebner, legendary WWE referee and Mr. Refin Rant himself, Jimmy Corderas, and OVW and TNA senior official Daniel Spencer. It's time for Refin' It Up. Listen to Refin' It Up. Go down.
Whoa.
What the hell?
What's happening?
Welcome.
Well, RJ, what happened?
I don't know what happened.
Oh,
I don't know what happened with Jimmy either.
Wait, hold on. Jimmy.
Well, that's a new thing, I guess.
Who's Jimmy? I don't know what you guys are talking about.
No bueno.
Well.
For those of you that are on the video, you saw the great disguise of Jimmy Corderas, but welcome to Refin' It Up. I'm RJ. Daniel, Jimmy, Brian, how we doing? Well, we know how Jimmy's doing anyways.
I'm messing up my hair, but you know.
Yeah, man. We're doing well. Busy week of wrestling as usual. And Matt Black, what's up, brother? I'm ready to do this. We have a guest too, don't we, RJ?
Yes, we do. We have the very talented Goldylocks will be joining us in just about a half hour. But
yeah, I believe she appeared on TNA Impact on Thursday, which is actually the biggest rating now in over 9 years. TNA Impact. My favorite
totally
Corderas just walked in the shot. Tell her, say hello.
Tell her to say hello, Jimmy.
She's trying to stay quiet. She just brought me a hot toddy here.
She can have a cameo.
Hey,
She can have a cameo?
I'm not feeling well at all right now, so I'll take a hot toddy as well. So
there she goes.
There she is.
There she is.
You got blocked out by the little Refin' It Up logo there, but that's okay.
No, that's fine.
We get the picture.
But guys, before we bring in Goldylocks in just about 30 minutes, why don't we send it up to our first count right here on Refin' It Up.
This is your one count.
Well, as we sit here on our live feed every Tuesday at 6 p.m., if you're listening on audio, this past Monday, we saw a beast get taken out, Brian. One Obafemi. One of those we'll say "oh shit" moments. I'll swear. I think we're allowed one. Setting up WrestleMania.
It's got to be. It's been in the works since the Royal Rumble, right?
Just to clarify, guys, it's now official. Apparently.
Is it official?
It is official. Yes, it is
Officially official.
Yeah,
okay.
Officially official. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sweet. Well, then there you go.
Triple H like tweeted it and Instagrammed it out like as soon as Raw went off the air.
Oh, if he tweeted it, then it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be true. Yeah.
Yes. I'm excited about it, man. I have a couple questions I'd like to pose the boys, but I mean, who has to go over here? Who goes over, Jimmy?
Who goes over? Who should go over? Who needs to go over? A lot of people are saying Oba. I don't agree.
Tell me why.
I'll tell you why. Because Obafemi, yes, he will be a made man, arguably a made man by beating Brock at WrestleMania. But guess what? Monday night, he became a made man. That one moment did more for him than any match could ever do. And you saw the expression on his face. He looked freaking confident as hell. Brock Lesnar, I know Dave LaGreca thought he looked scared. He did not look scared. He looked concerned. There was concern on his face because he was questioning what he was going to get into with Boba coming down to the ring. So you saw that look. And for those of you out there who say, well, Brock doesn't like to put people over, guess what he did?
He put him over.
Oba, huge, big time.
Oh,
yeah, Jimmy.
Who says Brock doesn't like to do that? Brock's always been that way.
I know. I don't know where this stupid narrative.
I mean, here's the other thing too. What people don't realize is while Brock was laying on the ground, he's yelling at him to put your foot on me.
Yeah,
he did. And that right there. I mean, come on now. If you're not afraid to put somebody over, you wouldn't have them put your foot over you while he's pointing at the sign. That's showing something right there.
And that's another sign. Jimmy. That's another sign that tells me Brock he squeaks one. He squeaks by. Not definitively beats him. He squeaks by.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Jimmy. You don't think, and I'm not, for argument's sakes.
Yeah, that's fine.
You don't think this takes the momentum that they've been building for almost close now to 6 months, 7 months? You don't think for a little bit that all that steam that Brock now passed to him just to lose at Mania takes that away?
No.
Why? How can it not?
I'll let you answer first, and I'll go ahead.
Because, like I said, he's already made, and during a match, with what's the old adage? You can get over without going over.
Yes,
Brock
I get that.
Do his best to make him look like $1 zillion because Brock knows what this guy is. He's got money written all over him, and he doesn't have to win. Like we always say, you don't have to win to get over and become a star. He can become a star in this match just by Brock, kind of like I said, he slips on a banana peel because he's still technically a rookie, and Brock takes advantage of a rookie mistake.
Yeah,
and still Oba looks like $1 million. I don't see the problem. I think the problem is with the vocal minority who think that if you don't win, it's detrimental. It's not always detrimental.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't agree with you and Daniel. I was saying for argument's sakes, do people lose confidence after this? You know what I mean? If he doesn't win, the problem, Daniel, is me, you, Jimmy, RJ. I guess I'm not sure, but people that are in the kind of the know are going to think like y'all. But the IWC, they'll shit all over it, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. The point is that the IWC is still a small minority compared to the casual fan and the fans that watch WWE the most. So what's going to happen is that the IWC is going to say, "Oh, he's been buried. How dare them do that?" And then they come out on Raw the next week or whatever it may be, and he's over like Rover, and it doesn't matter at that point. The same with Gunther tapped out to Jey Uso last year. Do you remember that? Yeah. But yet Gunther is still an overmade man right now. So it didn't bury him either.
Well, like Jimmy said, you have a good fight. He slips on a banana peel. Brock's lucky to get out of there, gets the win, rolls out. Oba comes up, then then you've got basically a wash. You know what I mean? It's
and even if he gets a little help.
Yeah, that too.
Whatever the case may be, it doesn't hurt him. And I don't understand this whole thing. You talked about Gunther. Everybody saying there's a lot of people out there. Well, I can't believe he tapped out to Jey Uso so quickly. It hurt him. No, it didn't. When he goes to the ring, what does everybody chant? You tapped out. Right? Is that Tony Khan calling you, by the way?
Yeah. You cannot say his name or he will appear.
Oh, okay.
Someone else's
call from Tony Khan. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
That's another podcast. Never mind.
Yeah, no kidding.
Also, someone else's gimmick. Say his name and he appears.
Well, maybe I'll get the knock at the door next. Maybe
that's just the way I look at it. Look, everybody can have their opinion on what they think who should go over, but to say that he needs to go over and he has to go over, no. There's always what. Okay, then what next? What's his next step if Oba goes over?
What's Brock's next step?
If he loses?
Yeah, what I'm saying is you got to look at that too.
Right.
Hold on, though. If Brock was the win, you now have 3 more months of this same feud.
No, you're right. I'm saying what happens if Brock loses?
That's the thing. If Brock loses, then where does Oba go? And then where does Brock go? And
Correct.
you have questions that are unanswered, where if you have Brock going over, you can see where they both go for the next 3 or 4 months.
Right. And the other thing too, speaking of Gunther, what's Gunther's whole deal right now? He's the guy who retires legends. He's the guy who
Correct.
retires icons. If you want Brock to be eventually one of those people, you know, I think this loss takes away from that aura of Gunther beating him and retiring him whenever he feels he's ready to go.
Right.
Something while we're on this, you know, some other great stories that are happening is over on the Smackdown side. This past week, we saw Randy Orton officially turn on Cody Rhodes, setting up their match even more so for WrestleMania. Jimmy, man, this is something that your favorite people in the world, the IWC, have been clamoring for a little bit here, see that the Viper come back, the Legend Killer.
Yeah. You know what? I love this version of the Viper. I love this version of Randy Orton. What else can you say? It was so well done because everybody was expecting, out of nowhere.
The Randy.
Yeah, right out of nowhere.
Does this happen at WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen?
I think it does.
I think it does.
I don't see why not. No, Cody has to win.
Why?
No, I don't know. I'm just being a dick. No, I loved what they did. I thought it was really good. They made me glad that they had a contract signing for once in the last 12 years that they've had him. I actually enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Did you guys see the turn? I did. I'm not lying. I did. He was too over the top into his music, sold the pyro. I don't know if you saw that. He was just too like coming down the aisle. You could just see how fresh, he just was over the top. And I'm like, okay, this motherfucker is about to turn. And I'm not trying to be one of those smart asses. I felt it because he was just too over the top babyface to acting, just doing things Randy Orton wouldn't do. I was like, he's doing this for a reason. And then when he said, I have to win, I'm like, oh, here we go. Good stuff though.
Without question.
The moment that did it for me at the end when he was sitting in the ring on the chair with a title belt in his lap.
Oh yeah.
He had that smile on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. See,
brings you back. Yeah.
There's a guy who knows what he's doing. There's a guy who gets it. Thank you very much, Randy.
The one thing I wanted to touch on real quick before we go up to our ref review and bring Goldilocks in a little bit is, excuse me, this past weekend at Revolution, we saw Ronda Rousey.
Wait, it's not over yet. It's not over. Let the show be over. Oh, it is over.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think that's why he was calling me.
Okay.
Is it over, Tony? No. Okay. Yeah, whatever.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, he said it's over. So Ronda Rousey, is she all elite, Brian?
So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
you. Lob the softball to you.
I mean, what's that going to do? Get a couple more eyeballs on it? I mean, so her last stint in WWE was god awful. I think people will remember that. I don't know what they're clamoring to. Good for them though. I'm not saying that. It's a good pickup. She does draw money. She does draw ratings to a degree, but I don't think it does anything for that company. I really don't. My opinion.
Makes sense.
What do you think, Jimmy? Don't you be quiet over there all of a sudden.
I'm just thinking because the sickos don't seem to like her either.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they weren't very much on board when she showed up. There were a lot of boos. They don't like her because she crapped on the business. She crapped on wrestling in general. Obviously, more towards WWE in her time there.
Right.
But they don't like her. And Lincoln Allen, the producer of Huge Pop, he had something he said that really made me huge pop. And he said that Ronda Rousey might be the one who finally ends the tribalism between AEW and WWE fans.
It could be right.
She's that universally hated. For me, she doesn't move the needle. I'm sorry.
I mean,
right.
I love Ronda, so I mean, but I at the same time, I think it would be more needle moving if she went there directly after her WWE departure. Since it's been a while, it's kind of like what? And then she has this big fight coming up too, though. So
Against Cyborg, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which tells me that she's not going to do anything physical in the ring until after that fight, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way she's going to jeopardize that fight.
No
way.
But in Cyborg, basically a retired person like her, and they're coming back to fight again for like the third time or something. Nobody knows.
No.
Well, I mean, I don't think they've ever fought before.
Yeah, they have.
They did.
Yeah.
I don't win. I think that was the whole point. They never fought before.
Years ago, I thought.
No, I think their paths never crossed. She was
Really?
supposedly scared to face her, and it was a whole thing years ago. Yeah.
RJ, go to that Google machine and find out.
Let's go.
I'm pretty confident
that.
they'd never. This was like a dream match for many years.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I don't follow it enough to know.
They have never fought. They've never fought.
Yeah.
They've never fought. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they did, but in Cyborg, isn't she like retired at the moment? Like,
Yeah,
like
she went shooting the movies and everything else, and
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
yeah, she, and then that was the whole point. Like, she wanted her to come back to fight her when she was at UFC, and she was obviously she was like, I'm done. I'll wipe her out. I'll wipe her clean if I did anyways. To save her, it was like a whole thing. And then
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with Jimmy. Not a new mover. It's not going to do much for him, really.
No. So I mean, like they poo-pooed on her a couple of years ago when she showed up and tagged with Marina Shafir in ROH. Fans didn't like her back then either. So I don't think this is and we don't know. It might have been a one-off because they were in LA for the pay-per-view, and they said, "Hey, if you're coming out to the show, do you want to just do a little thing?" And sure, why not?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time she showed up when they were in LA as a one-off. Last time it was on ROH, though. This time it's actually on the main show.
Right.
Right.
It might be all that. Who knows?
Well, guys, it's Brian's favorite time of the show right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes. I know what that means.
Yeah. You want to do a countdown, or you just want to just surprise us?
No, just let me just look at him for a minute.
Wait for it.
Bye, Daniel.
Wait for it.
Oh no.
Bye. Don't get rid of him. Quick. Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Well, that means only one thing, guys. Let's send it up to our Refin review right here on Refin It Up.
Wrapping it up.
This is Refin Review.
Well, gentlemen, we have we're gonna start here with we have two things real quick. This past week, when we saw some unfortunate things happen inside an OVW ring, we saw referee Dallas Edwards actually have a seizure inside the ring. Jimmy, this is something that we've never seen ever. Correct me if I'm wrong. Inside a ring, let alone with a referee.
To be honest, I don't recall ever seeing something like that. It was an unfortunate thing. Dallas is on the mend, which is a good thing. The thing that bothers me the most about this is that a lot of people are quick to point fingers, place blame, when they don't know the exact circumstances surrounding it, exactly what happened. Yes, there were a couple of things that could have been done differently, in my opinion, but that being said, now at least there's some protocols being put in place. And it's unfortunate these things happen, but you learn from them. Just like back in the day when everybody used to take these unprotected chair shots to the head. Guess what we don't do anymore? Unprotected chair shots to the head. You learn from these things. And that's what this, it's a very hard learning situation. And again, the bottom line is hopefully Dallas Edwards is going to be have a full recovery and be okay and continue on. And if he chooses to come back and referee and do that stuff, do whatever he can. But again, it was a bad situation that made worse by the, again, vocal minority online who seem to know everything about everything.
So I'm not going to touch on this too long. I do just want to say that I'm glad that the I'm actually proud of OVW in a way. And people are going to be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Well, I'm proud because they actually said something, talked about it, and put things in protocol for the future. Now, let me just say this. I never have seen anything like this. Um, it's very unfortunate. And I just hope that Dallas Edwards is going to completely be fine because I have been praying for him and I feel bad for him. And it was just, it's a freak thing. People getting hurt is not a freak thing, but people getting hurt and then falling into a seizure is one thing that we don't have protocols for. I mean, we really don't, much less one for a referee. So, yes, there could have been a lot more things done, a lot better things. But you know what? How do we know what we would have done if we were doing it in that situation? Because when is the last time a referee took a bump and went to a seizure?
Right.
Not in 44 years that Al Snow's been in the business.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, give him some slack, guys. Was it handled perfect? No, but I guess what? I bet you everyone else will handle it next time moving forward. Like Jimmy said, chair shots to the head. They don't exist anymore. Same thing. I just feel bad for OVW. I feel bad for Dallas, and I feel really bad for the guys in the ring that just didn't realize what was going on. I guess. I mean, it's just unfortunate, the whole thing.
The part of the problem too, Brian, real quickly here is people don't realize that the wrestlers themselves have tunnel vision when they're in
Yes.
the ring. They're so focused on doing their match, getting their match in, getting what they want to do, getting to the next spot, blah, blah, blah. And they don't realize what's going on around them. They're only
You're
focused
right.
on what they need to do. And a lot of that could have been what was going on here too, as well.
You're right.
We also had Jimmy from this past weekend's Revolution for AEW. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was the main event, correct?
Yes, it was. Main event
so
for the AEW Championship, Texas Death Match
Well, so you know
in
what's
LA,
gonna happen.
of course.
So we had Hangman Adam Page taking on
Texas Death Match in LA.
Mhm.
Yeah.
in MJ.
I will give MJF props. I got to give him props because he shout out to Terry Funk and the gear and that
Oh, yeah.
opening video. Good shit. Good shit.
It was.
Good shit, pal.
So our favorite referee, Jimmy, is on this list again. And away we go.
Well, here's the problem I have with how it was handled by the referee in this match. And in a Texas Death Match, the rules were as follows. The only way to win the match is via submission or not answering the referee's 10 count to make it to your feet, similar to a last man standing match. Fine. One of the things the referee has to do is be able to administer that 10 count in a way that doesn't make him look like a freaking clown. You don't back up halfway across the ring, run in and start counting 1, then back up again halfway across the ring and run in and start counting 2, and then back up all again and run. It looks ridiculous. It looks absolutely ridiculous. And there is no official on God's green earth in any sport that would act like that. And if you're trying to look like an actual official, you wouldn't do that. The other thing too is when people are down, whether it's a single competitor down on the ground and you want to administer the 10 count, or both are down and you have a double down, you give it a moment. You give it time to breathe. You allow that to sink into people's head that are watching the show. You don't start counting right away. And you start counting, you have a different cadence depending on whether it's a double down. You have a different cadence if it's 1. And you have a different cadence when it's the finish. It's absolutely noticeable. There has to be a uniform kind of count. There has to be a respectful way of counting without being so over the top that it's comical. I don't know what else to add. It's just ridiculous. Mannerisms count. And the other thing too, when MJF landed on the shards of glass that were scattered all over the ring, why was he holding his back like he had been thrown into the glass? Why was he holding his cheek when that ugly syringe went through Hangman's cheek? Why are you selling other people's stuff that's being done to them?
But Jimmy, are you shocked anymore?
No, but this has to be. It's got to sink in sooner or later with somebody there.
It's not. It's not. I mean, I'm with you. I agree with you. I just. This is what he does. He's been doing it on the indies before AEW was even a thing.
Right.
Apparently, someone loves him and loves the things he does. Because otherwise, I mean, I'm trying to be nice, and I will. I'll just leave it alone. But I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked anymore. I don't even know what to say. It frustrates me so much that it's embarrassing to say he's a brother in stripes. He's a brother from another fucking mother. Like, geez, it's so frustrating. And just listening to you explain it makes me remind what I was watching on TV every fucking week. Whatever. It's just
still watching every week, but no. See, it's gotten to the point. Hey, I used to talk about it all the time on my social media feeds, but I gave that up a long time ago because it's so redundant. It's crazy.
Time after time.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're just kind of saying the same shit every week. Yeah. Whatever. They don't mind it. They like it. Apparently, someone is a big fan of him.
Somewhere, somebody is. It might do.
Yep.
Well, whatever.
Well, if you notice Tu's matches, he's always in refereeing. Like every guy has their favorite.
That's a big thing over there. That's a huge thing over there.
Yeah. But has anybody other than Rick Knox refereed a Young Bucks match?
I have not seen it. I have not seen it.
I'd have to go back, but I don't think so. Yeah, but we'll move on after this. But you guys had, some of the boys that were, you had favorites for you, between Kurt or Eddie or
Taker, but it wasn't so obvious. I mean, it really wasn't.
No, because Brian and I refereed all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like I have to have so and so as my referee for every match.
Right.
They felt comfortable with the bunch of us.
Yeah.
So
but back in your day, you guys
back in my day,
you had referees that could referee.
And by the way, Jimmy, I agree with everything you said. I just don't know what else to say anymore either. I just don't know. It's just redundant, stupid, over the top. I want attention on me, and it's just so aggravating. And I don't know if he's. Never mind. All right, let's go.
That's the big thing. I want attention. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
He's getting it, plenty of it, because I mean, I'm watching more of him than I am the fucking match. But anyway.
well, guys, why don't we put our attention where it rightfully belongs, and that's going to be with our special guest, our very special guest, the wonderful, the very talented Mrs. Goldylocks will be joining us in our second count when we come back right here on Refin It Up.
This is your 2 count.
Oh, you got to come up with that. You have to come up with that, huh?
Yeah, of course I do.
Jeez. I swear.
Well, without further ado, let's welcome in the very talented, the lovely Ms. Goldylocks. Welcome to Refin It Up.
I was wondering if you were going to figure out how to bring me in. I saw the look of despair.
Well, hello, Goldie.
What happened to the other guy? Where did he go?
Oh, he
got rid of him. We want ratings. We want ratings.
We want ratings. Yeah, he's
shy.
He's shy. He's our producer, so he just sits by. He can still talk.
Hey, listen, I'm not shy. I just know where all the buttons is. All right,
all right. See you. Beat it.
Hit that button again.
Get out of here.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Well, welcome to the show. Am I lagging? It looks like I'm lagging.
So no, you're not.
No, not at all.
It's on my end, so it's really max headroom. That's an old reference, but you would get it. So yeah, thanks for that, guys.
Awesome. Hey, I have a question for you real quick right out of the gate.
Let's go.
So I noticed looking through my show notes, I know that Jimmy and Daniel, I'm betting, won't know. But Dale Oliver is somebody you worked with.
Yeah, lots.
I love Dale. What did you think of Dale?
Dale's great. We wrote a lot of great songs together.
I loved working with him. He did a lot of the music, back in the day at TNA. Very talented. I used to love sitting in the hotel with him at night sometimes, drinking and just listening to him come up with songs and stuff. And I'm like, what's this for? And it was just pretty cool. And I just thought that was kind of cool. You worked with him. That was a while back, wasn't it?
It was. I ended up writing songs, though, the whole time through with him and Dixie's husband. And I shouldn't say it like that. Jeez.
Serge.
Sorry, I'm a girl. So I took the female out on that. Yeah, Dale's one of the most talented men I've ever worked with. He's phenomenal. They're
Awesome.
lucky to have him. Really good.
Nice. So obviously music and wrestling are very, very synonymous with each other.
Yeah, I didn't realize that till after I was in the promotion, and it's helped me so much.
Amazing. How did you and Mickey actually get together? I saw the video on recently, and I thought,
Yeah, that was pretty hot too, by the
And
way.
I-
That video was nice.
She's so beautiful. Isn't she gorgeous? I just like, there's a picture of her online today, and it was something with her and Pink, and I think it said like, she gets me. And I don't know if they did the gimmick together or whatever. I opened for Pink years ago, but maybe Mickey did something with her. But anyway, Mickey was like, it was this profile shot, and I was just like, you bitch. It was just like this perfect jawline, her nose is like all, but she's just so beautiful. It came about by me. She lives 20 minutes from me, and I just said, I'm going to meet you for coffee or tea. And I had my little pitch deck, and I just said, you're doing this. She didn't even hear the song and said, okay. She's so, yeah. Like,
So you live in you in Nashville?
I'm in Nashville. Yeah, I went 20 minutes from her. So
Okay, all right. Well, you know Mickey's from Virginia. She lived right down the road from me.
right?
Yeah. When we worked
and
together, it was great.
she had the good sense to get out of there.
Hey, Canadian boy.
Brian still hasn't done that.
No, I'm not going to. I have to hold up the property here.
She's
But
really talented.
yeah, she's awesome.
So cute at so many different things. So that was really fun to do that. And then the Lax, of course, signed on. It wasn't because of me. It was because, Mickey's going to be in it. Yeah. So we got them to rap and write some stuff. And their rapping was so good and so ahead of its time that it like took me a while to even understand what they were saying or what it meant. Like I finally was like, like I got it. Like, but I didn't quite get what they were saying at first. And I'm like, wow, they really wrote that. That's really good. That's a great contribution. So
Awesome.
yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
No worries.
So you're a TNA OG. Let's kind of get a backstory a little bit of how that came about. How did you become the TNA OG that you are? And then we'll talk about what you're doing now after that.
You know, it's funny. I was just talking with somebody that I can't say who I was talking with because it would be a conflict of interest. But
Oh, come on. We're not a dirt show. Let's go. Bring some dirt.
Not getting any. Well, who just got heat for Raven? Didn't Raven just take a picture with somebody in the background and like whether that was intentional or not, like, blew the whole storyline because
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
not saying anything. But it's funny because we were talking about when I first came on, it was just there's nothing, it's just this raw promotion and anything you could swear, you could do whatever, there was no photographer. Dale started the music. I started helping with some of the songs that he asked me to, singing on some. And then there was no photographer. So I did a lot of the early photos of the boys and girls and the graphics. I did the graphics and sewed a lot of the gimmicks for a lot of them. And myself, that's how I got my record deal, was sewing stuff for Prince in his studio in Chanhassen, Minnesota, and all of his acts and whatnot. So, always kind of doing whatever needs to be done. And then it's all entertainment, like we're saying. But I was just talking with somebody like this first.
I remember that.
Remember this?
Yeah.
Volume 2, and they were like, "This needs to be out like immediately. Like, can you do something?" And I was like,
I'll swap your camera around so it was mirrored on our ends. Now we can see it. There you go.
Well, yeah, but what are you gonna do? Funny that I remember calling Dale on my Nokia phone, and I'm like, Dale, I just like set up my really shitty camera phone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's me in my hotel room by the fairgrounds in a thong, and then I just put like a mosaic on my ass, and that was
All you got to do is that works. You showed me on it.
So yeah, whatever. But it's like you just did what you did, and I did the graphics for a lot of the stuff, and nobody necessarily got any cred for anything, and that's cool. But what's not? But whatever. Some people made some money. I didn't. But anyway, yeah, I did a lot with TNA, and I was so happy the other day to be back. It was so much fun and so surreal and strange because it's a very different locker room than any of them that I was in. So, ha ha ha.
So let me ask you a question. You've seen the revolution of women in the sport. I mean,
yeah,
and it's kind of crazy how it has gotten. So you're the OGs thrown out there, and that's cool. Like, can you describe how you think things were totally different for you back when you were doing it, as opposed to now, where it's girls have 4 or 5 matches on TV now on a 2-hour program? I mean, like, crazy.
I think that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and it's not going to hurt my feelings, because when I was watching the matches that they had, with the exception of some of my friends, such as Trinity, Mickey, but for the most part, the women's matches were the shits. They were really bad. They were mostly focused on, you know, a lingerie match or the battle royale, or just stuff that, like, the murmur. You know what? The women's matches were when you went to the concession stand. It just, they weren't that good, with the exception of some of the people that did a great job. A lot of the chicks, I don't know that maybe they just didn't have the resources, or they didn't train as hard, but like, it's rare to find a China in the group, you know, like that's,
Right.
it's rare to find, you know, just some of the best women wrestler. Who was Gangrel's girlfriend? What was her name?
Lana.
Yeah, like, I mean,
No, Luna.
Oh,
Michelle.
Luna. I'm sorry, Lana. Luna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost said Lana. I was thinking of Superman.
yeah, but not only talented as a wrestler worker, but like just everything about her and the business and the integrity of the business and her persona and all the people back in that era. They did amazing. She was hanging out with people like Gangrel that sold far into the night, I'm sure, eating a hamburger with fangs at, you know, whatever. You know, it's so I've seen it evolve. I saw, like, on one of the shows that Mickey was just on, like a Tough Enough type thing, where she was bitching the women out, saying, you know, your ass is hanging out. You don't need to do that anymore. We already did that for you. So you don't need to do that anymore. You can concentrate on work. Of course, we want to see somebody looking sexy and hot. Who was the wrestler that was out? She's African American. I just saw her, like, on one of the Instagram stories, and it's like everybody's tits is hanging out, whatever. I mean, I'm half naked on a bunch of things for a cause right now, but like, everybody's like titty, ass, up the, how far up my ass can I get this thong? It's like, all right, I got it. And then there's like this black woman with a complete head to toe unitard on, sheer, with all gems. So I don't know what wrestler, what it was, but it's like, you could see every curve of her body. And I was like, I don't go that way, but I was like, damn, that chick is, it was like a little to the imagination, but it's no secret I guess when you are in that perfect of shape, you can wear whatever you want.
It sounds to me like a Jade Cargill, but I don't know.
I'm trying to see who it was. It's breathtaking. So I just think the women's rounds when I was coming up were just not. They just weren't as good. Call a spade a spade. If something is good, not only me, but everything will reflect on. That's really good. There's things in life that are good, and then there's things that are, it's a subject of opinion, you know, politics, this, that, you know, it's this,
Right.
this, and then there's, it's just not very good. So it's come a long way, and the minimum, like these matches that these women are having, they're good. Like, there's a lot of really great. So I don't know, did the coaching change? Do the resources that people can see constantly? Because I remember going out with all my friends, and we would, after this, we'd watch VHF, into the night, VHS tapes, Bret Hart, and I was like, oh my God. And that's all they do is drink and do drugs and watch VHS tapes as I sat in the corner and drank my tea. Now you can pull up the best of the best and snap of the fingers, and it's overload, but you can really, if you don't know what you're doing as a wrestler at all, let alone a female, you've got.
But Goldie, I think you hit it on the head, though. I think that back then, I think that the girls were looked at as eye candy, and I don't think that training and having great matches was as important as a tit and ass at that point. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. So I consume a lot. I don't always know the names. My eyes are back on wrestling, obviously. I just saw a clip today. You guys will know what it was. It was WWE, a bunch of women. Somebody came out for a surprise, dressed all in black with the mask, the face shield on, all in black, that chick. And she came in, and like within 2 seconds, she head smashed into the other woman. Who was that?
Are you sure that wasn't TNA?
I don't think it was TNA. I'm pretty sure.
Because Victoria, did she arrive on a motorcycle?
Nope.
Okay, so it wasn't that.
Came right in. She came right in, climbed through the ring, walked up and said something like, "It's on," and like walked up to her face and smashed her face in. And the retaliation, like, there's no way that was a work. Like, she must have had a concussion. Like, it was so good that I was like, oh my God, like, it was so good. You should look that one up. And I just saw it today, and I was getting on here, and I'm like, who is this, and what is this? And it was so stiff that it could be felt for, miles away.
Yeah.
It was good, and she looked great. All the girls looked really great, but it looked like she was absolutely, the girl receiving end was pulverized. And secretly, I love that.
Well, the funny thing is, I knew Mickey did that at one time at WWE. She came in and then revealed that she was a person dressed in the black when she helped Alexa Bliss out. Becky did that a while back, Becky Lynch, but I think she attacked Punk though. I don't think she attacked the female.
Okay.
I can't remember. And then I don't remember. There was I'm sure it's a clip from previous, but
I think it just happened. So yeah, check it out. But it was stiff, it was good, and it's fun. It's fun to watch, and I think the ratings reflect that. The ratings reflected that it wasn't so fun to watch back when I was starting in 2002, 2003. It just wasn't good. So I don't know that it's the level of talent with the girls. I don't know it's who they cast, they hired. Was it management? Was it production saying this? Who knows? But no matter what somebody's telling me or what I'm being told, I'm still going to go out as a sentient being that's intelligent, and I'm going to pack myself with as much information as I possibly can, whether I'm told to or not. I do my own homework. I'm a corrector. You know how that is. And I never realized how important you all's job was. I was so stupid back then. I just thought you guys were just running your mouths. Like,
thanks, Cody. That's what we do.
No, but it's so important to the balance of everything, just everything that and you bring to the table. And like, I was just listening to you backstage talking about just a little sell or a little pregnant pause, or just don't go in so quick before you start the count. Like, there's so many things that I never knew until later on. And I just thought Rudy was cute and he did a good job, but I didn't. Charles, I didn't realize how talented he really is. So.
Thanks. I'm gonna get a text from Rudy saying, "Hey, I heard I was cute on the show. I appreciate that." So.
He still does a good job. Cute though, still.
Yeah. He was. All of us were cute back then. Look at Jeremy Morash. She was this little cutie
pie. And going back to your music though, like I just read down the list.
Jimmy, sorry about that. Real quick, that was my daughter needed money. Sorry.
I didn't even see it.
I told her to just try and kayfabe. But anyway, go ahead.
It's okay. She let her be like my wife. She just jumps in the shot. It's not a big deal. No. I was just looking through the list of some of the bands you've toured with, and it's like a who's who.
I know.
I mean, that's it. This is an impressive list.
Yes.
And a lot of that list we got on because I was in wrestling or had that rub. I mean, that's just how it is. I'm going to call a spade a spade. We keep touring with great people because no matter who's in our band, we do a great job. And I owe a lot of that to what I learned in professional wrestling. It's how to, if I had told you the times, even when we were in Orlando, that like Terry Taylor or whomever would scream my ass when I thought I did a good job out there, and I'd come back out, it would just be like in your face, and you should have done this, and you could have done this, and what was that, and this should have been. And it's like, it doesn't matter if it's wrestling or if it's acting or if it's somebody on stage. I learned a lot from Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart gave me so much valuable intel and advice, and he always did it with kindness. Because I look back at it, and he could have really been an asshole about the way he delivered it, but he was so kind. A lot of it was about my appearance. He was trying to help me look better and saying nicely, like, that hairstyle doesn't behoove you. It's not flattering. But he did it in a way that it made me think like, that guy must either he's super gay or he scores more tail than because he's just slick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
he's a really freaking cool, great guy. Like, behind,
so he gets more ass than a toilet seat.
He gets more ass than something because he talks to people. He's got it down, and he doesn't have to be like that. You could just say it. He was really good about it. So the who's who is because I've had some really great, again, going back to like the women's division when I was coming up, I've had great coaching all across the board. Even Vince Russo coached me really well. You know, Jerry Lynn coached me really well. I had a lot of people come out of the woodwork and just coach me really well. And it helps. It helps you get on tour with Nickelback or Three Doors Down or, you know, all these great bands. It's like, it's because we do a good job and we entertain.
Who would have to be your favorite? You know, I know it's probably hard to say, but your favorite of
say it's that they're all cocksuckers, so it's a really hard question when people
What? Come on, not Nickelback.
So
Okay.
I will say this. I don't like to ever like bury people.
Yeah.
Back when we were working with them, they were so young and the no sausage on the bus. And I just remember so many of my best friends were at that show and like, you know, here these guys are like legends and like they wouldn't let any of my friends on the tour bus, just me, no sausage on the bus. And I was like, really? Like,
oh,
like you do know, like we're opening for you. Like I'm not here to like suck your wang. That's not what I'm here for. I always love telling the story. I'll try to make it really quickly. I was on a stage, Biloxi, Mississippi, the Hard Rock Cafe. No, not the cafe, the big, huge room, the national touring room. Was in there doing our thing. We had a 45-minute show that we were doing. Big rock show. The promoter was just like as sleazy as they come, but he took me under his wing and he was great. He was the guy that got everybody hookers and blow. That was his job. But anyway, big rock show. I want a big rock show. And I'm like, all right. So we did a big rock show. And then I think we were either done or there was like intermission or something. And like this really cute guy came up to the edge of the stage, a little hat on. And, you know, he's like, he had something in his hand. He shook my hand with one hand and he kind of was like doing this thing. He's like, I just want you to know, like, I've been doing this for a long time. And, you know, I know what you are. I'm like, well, what is that? Tired, hungry? You know, he's like, you know, work a room. Like you have something, that thing, that it. And I was like, wow, well, thanks. I don't know who this guy is. But anyways, really, really nice. And he just kept complimenting me and then telling me he's played a lot of piano places in his life, on and on and on. I'm like, okay, he must be. I didn't quite recognize him. So anyways, we're getting done. And he's like, well, look, my friend back there, he's been drinking up this whole place. I got to get back or he's going to fall over or something's going to happen. But I just want to give you this. And he took the other hand. He put it in my hand. He goes, I just want to give you this. My friends drank me from house and home. I don't have anything more than this, but I just want you to have it. And I want you to know that you're really good. And if I had any more cash, I would give it to you. But I got to get back to my friends. And then he just sort of like, you know, dissipated. And as I look in the back, like way back in the way, I just see him walking into the distance in this like tall shadow with like curly hair and like this top hat on. And then it just hit me like, okay, so that was Gavin DeGraw.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Kind, so humble, generous. And then his friend was, you know, Slash from GNR, who was like tearing it up and he wanted to look out for his buddy. And when I put the money in my pocket, dress pocket or whatever, and I didn't say anything because he's like, this is for you, not the band. This is for you. You're a front man and you're really good. He didn't say front woman, and I didn't get fucking upset about it because that's just what you said. It's okay. Mm-hmm. And when I got up there, it was $637 and wadded up.
Wow.
And I thought, that's a hell of a tip. And if that's what you think is a shitty tip, then you are, sir, a good man. So I had some really cool stories like that where after shows, people have just given great advice. Or I still wait for that day that somebody really takes us under their wing and says, I've got something that I can do for you to get you in. Now, I never really tell this story, but I was friends in a camp with TNA. They were friends with Abyss. Abyss was wrestling in Puerto Rico, somewhere in Mexico. And I remember, you know, I was in with Jeff and Jerry because I was their golden girl for a while. And I just kept saying, you got to take a look at this guy. Like, everybody's talking about him. And, you know, and then he ended up like staying at my hotel a couple of nights because he needed a place to stay. And, you know, fast forward, he's getting bigger and bigger. And then he's the one that gets me canned from TNA because he just did. And it's water under the bridge. I'm not hot about it anymore. Chris is Chris. Yeah, whatever. It's all good. But it's like wrestling some people. I always try to do anything that I can do to help somebody. I want to do that for them. And I look for the day when God decides like that maybe comes back. I don't ever do it so that it comes back on me, but it sure as hell would be nice if somebody would say, I've got an in with this promoter, or I know somebody at this fair or festival, or I could help with this or that, because I sure as fuck would. I would always want to help somebody coming up, or even not coming up. If you can help somebody, do it.
Yeah.
You ever work with Fozzy?
I never did. Could you imagine what a dream that would be?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. So there's a question there.
Yeah, Donnie DeSilvia quotes said, if Goldylocks hosted a music festival with only people in the wrestling business performing, who would she book? I guess Jimmy will be offended if he's not invited. So
No, I don't be offended if it was karaoke.
Who in the music business would I book?
Yeah.
I mean, would it be music people?
Oh, well, it says only people. Hold on, let me read it again. Keep it up here. It says with only people in wrestling business performing. So a music festival with. So I guess there's only so many that
they're good at something, or they're my friends, or is it like the Hardy Boys? Is it Mickey? Is it Ron the Truth Killings? I was talking to Ron on the phone the other day about doing a possible thing. Would it be any of those kinds of people? That would be fun. Or would it be just my friends that I still talk to? I still talk to Eric Watts all the time. I still talk to Elix Skipper. I still talk to Stephanie Pinocchio Trinity. I still have a lot of friends that they're just wonderful human beings. They're the greatest gifts I could have ever gotten out of wrestling. So I don't know who I would hire. I guess it would just depend on what the festival was. And, I can't tell by your cursive writing you put down there. What a crazy ass font. Nobody can see that at a snap of a glance.
Well, first of all, Donnie, that was a stupid ass fucking question. But anyway.
Oh, wow.
Donnie's a witty guy, but that was pretty stupid.
Oh, guess what? Guess what, Bri?
What?
You'll be a little while before you're back on the show again.
Donnie hosts
putting him over.
Donnie hosts the podcast with Jimmy, another show in Canada. So that's why that's where that.
I've known about you forever, so you do a great job.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And segue real quick. You do have a daughter. How old is she? That she just came in, obviously driving age.
I have twin daughters. They're 17. They're getting ready to go to Target. They're getting ready to go get their shoes for the ring dance, and they're going to get food for the night. And I just asked her real quick. I kind of did a little puppet thing. I said, how much is this going to cost? And she said $75, $100. So I don't know. But yeah, she's 17. One of them drives, one of them's not right now. So that's a big issue.
Okay.
So one of them.
Daniel, Jimmy, do you have daughters though?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. I have a daughter, 16 years old, my daughter. So
segue into, we won't talk about this for long, but this is one of the things that we're doing right now, because a lot of people are seeing magazine covers with me, yours truly, buck ass naked, Austin Powers style, where things are covered with like our album, and my bandmate has joined me.
Yeah. In plaid nudes. Yeah.
His own thing, by the record, not the bod. His is by the record, not the rod. And then that segues into what we're calling hashtag only talent. So let me just ask you this. You guys are in wrestling, you're in entertainment. Of course, we like to look at beautiful women. I do too. Again, don't go that way, but I can appreciate. How would you feel as a father of a 16 or a 17-year-old if your daughter were to open up an OnlyFans? How would you feel about that?
You want me to go first?
Go ahead, Brian. You go first.
So don't get mad at me, okay?
Yep, I'm not.
No. I would feel absolutely crushed and angry, and
why would I get for that when I've got a whole campaign against it? Why would you be crushed? Why would you be crushed?
Because I just believe that there are morals in life that people need to know, and I think that this internet bullshit that it goes on is basically all it is you're just giving and selling your body away, and it's okay for people to do it. I'm not saying that, but just not my daughter. I just feel like
all right, Daniel.
I'm in the same boat. I would 100% be. Be against it. I would. The good thing is, though, I feel like my daughter, with her faith and everything, that she would be against it too. But if for some reason she got convinced that that's the right thing to do, me and her mother, who was divorced, but we raised her very well, we would have a serious conversation. Be upset, be hurt, but try to do everything I can to kind of convince her that it's not a good idea.
Okay,
Cody, do you have kids?
No, I don't have kids, but
So how do you feel about that?
Well, we have you didn't get the memo, so I'm going to bring you up. Like, the whole point of me saying, doing all these magazine covers, like, completely nude. I mean, we're on the cover of Billboard, we're on the cover of Maxim, we're on the cover of FHM, Variety, God, what's the big one? Well, people and Rolling Stone just reached out. So it's basically me, my hands across the bits, holding a record, but it's two parts. One is by the record, not the bod, which also goes into only talent instead of only fans. And what I'm having a hard time is we're performing for 2 to 3 sororities a week. And there are girls, and I want you to remember what your girl was like at this, but there are girls as young as 11 and 12 years old that think that they're not going to go to college. Brian, Daniel, they're not going to go to school. They're not going to get a job. They're not going to learn a vocation. Jimmy, they're not going to do anything but just open an OnlyFans. Like, that's the dream. And it's becoming so normalized. And I talk to these kids every week, and we're talking about 5,000 kids a week, if not more. So I got my finger on the pulse. It's hurting my heart because it's becoming like, oh, I've got a TikTok. It used to be like OnlyFans. And now it's like, yeah, I'm an OnlyFans. Check it out. But the thing is, it's becoming so normalized that girls as young as 11 think like, so not a friend, a colleague of mine the other day said, I see you doing all this crazy stuff and I kind of know what it's about, but I finally like read some of the articles and now I see what it's about. And like, this is an anti OnlyFans and this, and you're getting people's attention, but then read the article. But he said, I was judging you a little bit because I'm a heavy Christian, but he's like, the other day, my granddaughter, her parents reached out and sent me pictures, and he sent me a couple that he could send over the internet or the text, and then the rest he couldn't. And he's like, this she's 11. I'm like, what? It was just like, it was so. I literally cut a promo the other day. I didn't post it because I don't want to be like that sobbing person online, but
right.
It hurt me so badly to see like this little girl, like that's all. I mean, and we all like, I remember the 110 cameras back in the day. You kind of hold them up on an angle and you put some sun in your hair and you try to look sexy. And then you'd go to Kmart or freaking whatever and get your pictures developed. And they'd come back and be like, one of your eyes or like, you couldn't see.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was a young girl, like wanting to be sexy and have a sexy photo. But you just said it, like with the internet now, it's like your phone. You can just take a perfect time nude shot of yourself. You can be 9, 10, 11. My friend walked in on his little girl the other day, giggling in bed. She's 9 and was talking to a sex bot that was teaching her how to masturbate at 9 years old. And I'm just like, what? And he's a single dad. His wife died a few years ago and he's trying to handle it's too much. So we're really trying to say, use your talents and let's figure out what those are. But it's really hard when some of these girls are making buku bucks, but it's very, very, very small. And my wrestling colleagues, before I rolled this out 6 months ago, I said, hey, you're going to see some stuff. I'm not trying to insult you. Make your money how you need, but they're 18 and then some. Make your money the way. And one of my very famous friend, I won't say who, but she just said, Goldie, me and so, all this stuff that you see, we're failed OnlyFans models. We maybe make $200 or $300 a month off of all of what? All that content that lives out there forever. It's basically porn lives forever, and you're making $200 or $300 a month. You could drive for a day of DoorDash or Uber Eats and not have anything out there. And all these porn stars from the 90s and the 80s, they're trying to get their stuff offline now, and forget it. It's not. Nobody's going to take that off. It's there for your kids to enjoy and make fun of. Be made fun of. So that's where the whole thing is. So when people see stuff, it's a complete campaign to get everyone's attention to say, like, we've got to do better. And the other half of it, by the record, not the bot, is people think streaming, they're not making any money. If you're making money off of streaming, it's because you're on a record label or some fluke happened that you're organically getting streams. And even that's 0.001% on the dollar. That's not money like you used to make when you sold records. These artists these days, they don't have insurance, they don't have retirement, they don't have anything. So it's a really big campaign that we're doing. I just always want to mention it on every podcast so people understand what it is and what we're trying to get out there.
That is really, really cool and very interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah, if you get a chance, like check out a couple of things on my page. You can't miss it, but some people will be like, yeah, whatever. Then some people take the time to really look at it. But it really is to encourage either people to buy a record or a poster or a gimmick or something at all these indie shows. You see your favorite wrestler there, buy something of theirs. Keep them alive. It's not just stream the stuff online, watch it on YouTube. Like, go to their website or their cartel and buy something. There's that. And then encourage these young girls to just do better, but do it by your example too. You know, if you're watching all that stuff, you don't need your kids to know that you're watching. I'm no saint, but you know what I'm saying. Set a good example.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm off my soapbox now. Thanks.
No, it's great. Yeah, it's great. I that's the one thing that I was driving. There was a up and coming female wrestler who I've talked to before, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this." And I'm like, "Why? Like, you don't need to do that. Just stop. You know, don't start an OnlyFans. Like, because once you do that too, it might hurt you getting signed or something later." "Oh, I'm not going to show anything." I was like, "Yeah, but I also had a friend who said that, and then after a while, the more and more they kept it's like drugs, right? You do a little bit, then you start getting harder and harder. I was like, now they do crazier stuff when they should have never. If they just never did in the first place, they've been fine. You know?
I remember Francine on Twitter announcing that she was doing OnlyFans, and I adore Francine. She's been really cool to me over the years, and I remember. I didn't like judge her, but my little stomach I thought, wow, I try to mimic some of the things that she does, and I like some of the models that she. And then I was sad. I will be honest with you, I was really sad. And it wasn't too long after that you saw her just saying, "I'm done. I'm not doing it." She never did anything crazy on it. She just said that people were becoming insatiable with their requests and like what they wanted. And you know, she's a mom and she's a tasteful chick, and she was just trying to do some things and start one. But she said, I had to, and secretly I was like so happy because I think the world of her, and I just didn't want to see her get hurt, nor any of my girlfriends get hurt that do it. So, but again, I know people like to look at nice stuff, but like there's like a line. It doesn't necessarily need to be crossed. You can still look hot, and there's a difference between somebody on the cover of Sports Illustrated who's barely clothed, but they've got that vibe, and then the ones they turn to the back and they're like, and it's like their ass, and they come here. There's a difference.
You're doing that good.
I've always thought growing up, with magazines were a thing. Maximum magazine was to me more. Maximum was more hotter than Playboy because you had to use your imagination.
Right.
And you didn't see anything, but it was like where Playboy, it was like, there it is, you know. So it was like,
it was.
Yeah.
So Goldie, listen to this. So I have a wrestling shirt, right? But I shredded the sleeves and wear it to the gym, and it's an Only Marks shirt.
Yeah.
So my daughters thought it was OnlyFans, and they got hot at me. They were like, "What are you doing?" Yes, they got hot, and I said, "Girls, look, it says Only Marks," and they're like, in their own little language, "What the fuck does that mean?" And I'm like, "It's marks, fans, like fans." I had to explain to them what marks were at that point because they did not believe me. They were like, "Yeah, bullshit. You have an OnlyFans," and I'm like, "I do not."
I'm glad they called you out. You and your
what'd you say?
I said you in your kitchen, Brian.
It's my second kitchen. It's not down here. Just I know you're embarrassing me with your setup. I mean, you look like you're at a freaking Hall of Fame rock Hall of Fame.
No, I'm not embarrassed. I'm just calling you out, giving you a hard time.
I know you are. That's okay.
Second kitchen. My bad.
That's okay. Just make sure you say that.
Make sure I what?
Just make sure you say the second kitchen. Don't just call it a kitchen now.
Okay. What did you? What are your books that you've written or?
No, that's my dad's book, Earl Hebner's book, ODB, and then a old wrestling magazine with Ricky Steamboat.
What's the ODB one?
That's her book.
Oh, really?
And then my dad's book.
That's so badass. I love that. Way to rep.
Yeah, ODB, me and ODB and my dad, we're real close. We all travel together.
Speaking of your dad, it just
stop, Daniel. Yeah, well, I got one too, biatch.
It's a run. So basically, Brian gets upset because Earl, his dad, trained me to be a great referee, and Brian did not have any part of that. So that's why Brian's so upset about it.
Goldie, he's lying. I'm the one that trained him and made him good. He put those in my face because my dad's probably more known, I guess.
Goldie, this has been a running deal every week.
What do you got, Jerry?
This whole thing on who trained Daniel to be a referee.
Well, who did?
Earl.
I did.
Oh, there you go.
No. It's okay.
Where do you live?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Virginia.
Jimmy.
Virginia.
You're in Virginia. Okay, where though?
South of Richmond. It's called
Not Brian.
Yeah, I live south of Richmond.
Okay, Jimmy in the corner.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jimmy. Oh, he doesn't matter where he lives.
I'm in Toronto, Canada.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel, where are you?
Louisville, Kentucky. Closer to you, actually.
Oh, you're in Louisville. I'm closer to Mickey. You're right by me.
Yep.
Right up 65 there. Well, that's cool. Louisville. Go for it.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, though, Goldie, real quick.
Do it. I'm ready.
So I watched Impact and noticed that there was a familiar face on there that happens to be on my computer screen right now.
Yeah, it was. Thanks for it.
What's going on, girl? What are we doing?
I was on here, you dipshit.
Okay, well, I understand that too. What's going on with that? Are you going? What are we doing? Tell me what's up.
I don't know what's going on with it. I think it's in the air, but I sure would love to come back. And I've already pitched an angle to Tommy a year ago, a while back. He actually liked it. I don't know when it's right or makes sense, but I've got some ideas and I'm open to anything they would want to do. And he just said, I've got something that makes sense for you to come back of. He said it was that you're worthy of substance. I was like, oh, great. So I had a blast. Supposed to, I don't know if I can have to kayfabe on the Elegance brand or not, but like I will break fade for a second. They were incredible to deal with, and everybody was. I was just talking with one of them today. Like they're just really, there's some good talent. George, how do you say it?
Iceman.
The personal concierge.
Personal concierge.
Yes.
Concierge. I don't think it's plural. Concierge, right?
Concierge.
What a gimmick.
Yeah, concierge. Yeah.
I think I just didn't realize how talented he was. Phenomenal. The Ash by Elegance chick wasn't there, but the rest of them were really good. There's a thumbnail that's surfacing, and I actually look good in it. It's not like, like that. Like, why would you pick that? It's a really good thumbnail because every single person is selling in that picture. It's really, it's just well done. Like they did a really, it was great. Like when I was coming up, there was a lot of people that were really good. And then they put a lot of people that were just around the fairgrounds in that they didn't have any training. How about we put it like that? They didn't have training. So it's like, it was hit and miss. So it was really fun working with a bunch of people. And then I added a few lines to that because I felt like it needed it. And then Tommy was like, yeah, that's cool. You can say that. And then we ran it. And then it was like, it's not good. It sucks. Take it out. And like George was like, yeah, let's come up with something better. Well, what do you got? Nothing. And then Tommy walked in and said, no, give that line. It doesn't need to be funny. It just needs to be there. I'm like, okay. Like it's just nice to be in a locker room or in a production where nobody's feelings are getting hurt about things. Let's just be real. Is it funny? Is it not? Is it good? Is it not? Does it need to be there? Does it not?
Right.
I don't care about who said it or I don't give a shit. Like I want a good product because I'm a professional. I've been doing this for a long time. And if it's not a good product, then it's not going to survive. So
Right.
you just,
That's because you're thinking of the overall picture as opposed to personal gain.
and that's how a lot of musicians are. I freaking hate them. They're just little maggots that feel like because they can do something that it should just all be dropped into their lap and just right off into the sunset and drinking Cavassier. It doesn't work like that. Bro, put your time in. Work.
Yeah. You just drew more parallels between music and wrestling.
Is it like that in wrestling? Is it?
Yeah.
It can be. It can be.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I see a lot of that with the cast that I was with. A lot of those guys were
It's changed though. It's changed though.
It's changing. I mean, like I'll be honest with you. When TNA was up here in Canada and I went by to visit, the locker room was so together. Everybody was so much on the same page. It was like I was blown away.
I was too, Jimmy. When I was doing it, everybody was doing lines of coke and they were drunk and they were pilled up. And
what's wrong with that? Shit.
Because I'm gonna die in the ring. Like
I'm kidding.
There's many times when I thought that, and that's why I got fired. I got fired because some shit was going on, and I thought I was legitimately gonna die. And we were opening for Nickelback, Puddle of Mud, 3 Doors Down. Ironically, like in 10 days. And I was like, I'm going to die taking this bump. Could I take something that's not quite as hard? I'm not a professional wrestler. I'll just be limp. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to die. You're going to kill my degenerative disc disease. It's going to now be, I'm paralyzed. Like, could I please take a lesser bump or just something else? And that me going to Terry Taylor and asking for that went to Goldie's telling stories about how she's going to sue the company if the bump goes wrong. And I'm like, what? Like, if I was going to sue the company, I would have done it 2 years ago when I had grounds for massive sexual harassment, lawsuit, money. I mean, I look back at that, I can say this with a straight face, there would be no TNA wrestling as it stands now if I would have blown the whistle when I could have. I had the financial liaison to Panda Electric, like the ones that funded everything, Dixie's mom's dad's company, like that money, like the guy that came and wrote the checks out was calling my phone, which I never gave him my phone number, and telling me he's gonna and like the most disgusting graphic messages that I had on tape, for Christ's sake. I've got his phone number calling me saying, I got your number from the office. I have every bit of proof that you could have ever had to have sued and taken the company completely down. And
why didn't you?
Because all of my friends would have lost their jobs.
I got you. I thought that's what you were going to say.
They would have all lost their jobs. So some of these guys, I remember being on the plane with Christopher Daniels from LA, and looked like he had a broken neck, and he's like, this is one of my last shots. I'm like, I didn't know him, but he's like, yeah, I got a broken neck and a back that's jacked to hell, and this is my shot. And Elix, that was his shot. All these guys in ECW, WCW, all these promotions just came, crumbling down unexpectedly. And this was these guys and girls' shot. And what am I going to take that all away? And I think back now sometimes and I'm like, but no, I would have done the same thing again. I had every bit of proof that there was. I still have it somewhere in a box in an attic. But, when you going against TNA would have been one thing, but I would have been going against Panda Electric that would have been horrible. I could have gotten so much money for that. And the whole reason I got into wrestling was because of my lawyer. She's the one that got me in it. She would have caught wind of that as a female lawyer. Holy shit. Now, we became estranged because I stopped contacting her. I stopped paying her my piddly little, commission, because I didn't want her to know what was going on and put the kibosh on it. And she would have just nail in the coffin. It would have been done. So yeah, if I was going to sue, I would have done it back then. If I was going to sue, I would have done it every time Jerry Jarrett said, hey, tits looking great today. Look at all these tits. Don't they look great? I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's like, oh, sexual harassment. You're in a fucking locker room with a bunch of guys. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think you signed up for? To be a librarian here at the...
Right.
You signed up in a locker room. You're a woman in their space. God knows what's going on. It is, as you said, Jimmy, when you saw that in Canada, it's a different locker room now. But I knew what I signed up for. But I didn't want all my friends to lose their jobs.
So Cody, why don't you before we wrap up here, why don't you let us know some stuff you're doing right now? I know you kind of mentioned a little bit before, kind of plug your stuff, get it all out there.
I mean, we're touring, we do our shows. Anybody listening, if you've got somebody that runs a fair or a festival in your area or a venue that we do covers as well, because sometimes you're playing a board rock or something, nobody's gonna give a shit about your originals. But anybody that's got any music ins like that, I'm not talking about, I want a record deal. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, you got what I said up earlier. Let me know. We would love to come play by you, rock out. And we've got a contest that we're doing right now that we just entered. It's for some cool prizes, but it's kind of a good rub. And you had to remix a song, but we completely reinvented it. So that's on my Insta. If you happen to stumble across that, leave a nice comment or leave a shitty comment. I don't just leave a comment. Boost my algorithm. And that's about it. We're doing this stuff with the Only Talent, by the record, not the bod. And the goal is to get on as many pods and then regional shows in Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, the morning shows, the afternoon shows, radio or TV, and talk about what we just talked about with. I don't think a lot of people even know what OnlyFans is, and I don't think they know that their younger daughters and that their grandkids are like doing this stuff. They don't know when they disappear into their rooms for hours on end. Like that's
Right.
what they're doing. So
Hey, Goldie, why don't you get with Mickey James and come to Richmond and sell this motherfucker out? She used to play here all the time.
we had a tour that we were doing for a while. We're not doing it anymore, but it was called Rain and Riffs, and we played some casinos and did some cool stuff. So again, you'd have to have a venue that wanted you to come and that had a built-in audience or could sell tickets and make it, because her day rates, she's a pricey chick, and I ain't so shabby either. It just always has to make sense that it's at something that their ROI would be decent. That matters to me. But great idea. Look at Jimmy. His body language is like, all right, this chick's talking away.
No. I'm just
Wrap it up, bitches.
no. I heard something in the back here. You didn't hear it, but
Oh, are you all right?
I usually keep the door closed and it's open, and
he kayfabes the wife, and he's not now. So that's kayfabes the wife.
Well, you guys are cute as bug's ears. I really appreciate you having me on and hear what I have to say. And it was just so great to be back at TNA and see everyone. And I thank you so much for asking me to be on your show. What an honor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
It was awesome.
Yeah,
we were so excited about it too, and it was awesome.
Continued success.
Yes,
cutie.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And then we'll definitely have you back on in the future. And then I'm hoping to see you. Like I said, the storyline, some idea, maybe it'll come in fruition, and we'll see you. I'll see you more at the TNA locker room.
I'm open to all and above of the storylines. It was just a real jazz to be back and to be working with such talented people. And like I said, I'll be putting over George, the personal concierge, for the end of time, because he's just a really, really, really talented cat. They're lucky to have him.
Yeah, he is.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Cody. Appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Cool.
All right.
That was awesome.
RJ coming back.
Come on back, RJ.
Here I am.
Yes,
I'm allowed back now. I can hit the right button anyways.
There is no right button.
There is the right stuff, and we are going to talk about the right stuff in our third count right here on Refin' It Up.
You got the right stuff.
This is your 3 count.
Baby.
Almost that time, Jimmy. Just great episode. Just sitting back and just taking it all in. Just wonderful to have Goldylocks here this week. But Jimmy, man, we're gonna go back into the archives this week, and for this week's Caradaris karaoke with Young Bucks, and you will only hear it on the audio version. So if you're watching live here on YouTube and Twitch right now, hit pause, go over to the feed on Wednesday morning and listen to it. This week's Caradaris karaoke with Young Bucks.
Is that going to get me heat with the sickos now?
I think you could get heat with them either way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just be another day. What the heck?
So another comment here. I want to get this out here. That was awesome, minus Daniel. So apparently Daniel has heat with somebody.
WWE fan guy. Okay.
Not that he cares.
Okay.
Anyways, Daniel, we just saw TNA this past week on Impact. Just phenomenal show. What do you guys got coming up this
By the
week?
way,
Coming up in the future?
Sorry, not to cut you off, RJ, but congrats. The numbers,
Yeah.
slowly but surely rising. That's a good sign.
Yeah, what was it? 249, right?
No, 259.
259.
The highest rating. It beat our highest since going on AMC. It's the highest rating on AMC. Highest rating since on Pop, and 8-9 years ago, whatever. So yeah.
Honestly, man, y'all just have to keep telling stories, man. That's what people aren't doing anymore.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's what we're doing. So yeah, shout out to the team there. We got one more tape show come up next week, and then we're going to be in New Orleans next Friday for Sacrifice, followed by TV tapings the next day. So come out to NOLA and get some beads and watch some wrestling. So,
Even better. What are ways people can get you on the social medias, Daniel?
At Daniel Spencer on the Twitter and the Instagram. And yeah, there you go. So
fantastic. Jimmy, when you are not making the IWC irate, your Refin rants are absolutely phenomenal each and every Monday through Friday.
Yeah, you can catch those Refin rants on all my social media platforms at Jimmy Corderas on Twitter, at Real Jimmy Corderas on Instagram. It's also on Facebook and everywhere. Again, like I always say, giving my opinion, little things, tighten some screws, things I think could be done a little bit differently that may help. It's not shitting on anything. It's just trying to be constructive criticism. If you don't like it, hey, you know what? You can mute me. You can block me. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm not looking for engagement, but if you bring it, you're going to get it. That's all I'm saying. See, and being hated, they say, you know what they say? Being hated is the price you pay. Being hated okay, I'm going to get this wrong completely, but anyways, I remember hearing this a while back. Being hated by idiots is the price you pay for not being one of them.
That's true.
There you go.
Very true.
Very valid. Brian, what do you got going over there on the socials?
Right now, man, it's just basically right now for me, it's just going to be basically Twitter for the moment. Instagram's getting ready to get heated up here soon, but right now that's all I got. And it's at Baby Hebner. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can. Obviously, I have to be approved, to be on following me. So anyway, that's at Baby Hebner as well.
Awesome. So apparently we had, if you haven't been following us on the socials, we had to switch the handle a little bit there on the Twitter gimmick because apparently somebody likes to play the hacking game and hacked into our account. So we are now at _ ringside, or excuse me, that's my old show, at _ Refin it up. Man, I'm all out of sorts. And then of course Instagram at Refin it up as well. I just want to shout out real quick, AJ McKay. Absolutely does all these phenomenal graphics for the show now that we're live, as well as Downstate, all the great music, intros, outros, all that good stuff as well. But gentlemen, absolutely phenomenal show. Can't wait till the next one. And for Mr. Daniel Spencer, Mr. Jimmy Corderas, and Mr. Brian Hebner, I'm RJ. We'll see you next week right here on Roughing It Up.
1, 2.